Hello and welcome to EBTV's coverage of East Brunswick High School sports. Today we'll be bringing you the boys lacrosse match between East Brunswick Bears and Freehold Township Patriots here at J. Doyle Field. I'm Phil Peterson, joined by Ernie Fusco, and we'll be bringing you the action of today's game. Beautiful day here.
Yeah, actually what they're doing right now is both teams are lining up, prior to the initial face-off.
Go over last-minute rules and regulations with the officials, make sure everybody's on the same page.
Also, it's interesting to note that East Brunswick's record right now is 4-2, and Freehold, which is a first-year program, is 0-6. But as everybody knows, in getting a program started, you get players involved, and eventually they lead to, a successful team.
I think the Freehold coach realizes that, the first-year team, you're going to take your lumps, but the only way you get better is to play good competition. And East Brunswick faced that same battle not too long ago.
That's correct.
I guess once they've got started here, they'll eventually develop a good feeder program through the youth age groups, too.
That's correct. Yeah, currently, right now, Central New Jersey has one in the East Brunswick Blackhawks, and you see a few kids out there today on East Brunswick's team that were former players of the Blackhawks. All right, we're almost getting ready for the face-off. Facing off for East Brunswick is Matt Kolbach, and for Freehold is Kyle O'Donnell.
Okay, we're just about set to get underway.
East Brunswick's actually got possession of the ball. Matt Miller's bringing it up. Looks to set it up. Passes over to Ernie Fusco on the wing.
Behind the net, Brett Dunbar.
That's correct. Passes over to Miller from Fusco.
Being somewhat of a neophyte with the lacrosse, possession seems to be the major effort on both teams.
Possession and ground ball are extremely important. The other thing that's a big key is the fact that you see in East Brunswick trying to move the ball. You can move the ball faster in the air than certainly you can running with it, and that's a key ingredient to being able to hit the open man.
Right off the bat, early in this match, we've got a goal by East Brunswick. I think in a game like today, Freehold's hoping to survive.
Currently, the second midfield's out there for East Brunswick. You have Ricky Schaefer facing off. Looks like Kyle O'Donnell is also facing off as well. Brett Dunbar scored that last goal. East Brunswick looks like they're... What's happened there is East Brunswick actually picked up the ball, but if the ball is loose and the opposite player hits the person from behind, it's called a loose ball push, and possession goes to the team.
Push would be against Chris Konecki on Steve Newman.
Pass goes over to Fusco on the wing.
See, the East Brunswick team just kind of circling around, circling the wagons around the Freehold net.
Yeah, they're moving it around. Looks like Freehold currently right now is trying to keep everything in tight. Nice pass there. Dunbar's looking to pick the ball up.
Almost looks like a power play in hockey.
Right, moves it over to Fusco. Fusco's taking it in. That's Zach Bloom taking that shot. Also, what happens for people that don't know, if a ball is shot, it's the closest person to the end line when it goes out of bounds. So East Brunswick was behind. That's why they scored on that.
Nice save by the keeper,
right,
Rich Erickson.
It's a real nice play. Actually, what happened is shot came out there from Fusco on the wing. Looks like Newman picked up the loose ball and actually just finished it right there. Currently, right now, you have John Chu's taking the face-off. On wing is Kenny Weinrob. And
Stan Brand.
Stan Brand.
Well, from the early flow of this game, looks like the coach for the Bears is going to use every manpower he's got on his bench.
Brand picks up the ground ball, which was nice. Chu has the ball currently right now. Sweeping through. Shot down and score.
A 3-0 lead for the Bears early in this match. Very short shifts there.
Yeah, the other thing that's extremely important to mention too is even if someone does lose the face-off or does score, excuse me, ultimately if you can win the face-off, you can ultimately have control of the ball again and again and again. So it's an extremely important aspect. Coach's name for East Brunswick is Kerry Wigner, and he's assisted by John Lamella. Possession goes to Freehold.
Just hope at this point David Lynch hasn't stiffened up from inactivity.
Well, he's gotten plenty of activity this year so far, so I'm sure he doesn't mind.
Number 1, Dennis Novella with the ball, trying to work his way through the middle.
The other thing that's extremely important is, again, gentleman's controlling the ball, doing a nice job. But ultimately, what you got to do is you got to look to be able to move the ball in the air to get some help for your players. What happened there is Sauvigny picked up the loose ball, but the ball was checked out of his stick by one of the Freehold players. If it's checked out of your stick, it goes to the other team. So it's Freehold ball. That's what they were looking to do there.
Well, lacrosse is fairly new to a lot of people around here.
That was a shot. Okay.
Generally, there's a lot of similarities between this and some of the other sports. You made the point earlier about the fastest way of getting the ball from point A to point B is with a pass.
It does. It uses a lot of skills of whether it be soccer, you use a lot of basketball skills. The one thing that's real great about the game, too, is you can do a tremendous amount on your own. You can work on your stick a great deal on your own. So there's a lot you can do to improve yourself. Ball goes behind to Dunbar. Looks like East Brunswick trying to set the offense up.
And a score.
Right, there was a shot from the wing by Fusco.
Wide open shot by Ernie Fusco.
Right, the feed came from Dunbar. The other thing that's extremely important in this game as well is, unlike most sports where you look to be extremely aggressive, there's times when you need to be aggressive, there's times when you don't. When you actually pick up a ground ball, many times what you're looking to do is run away from traffic and settle the ball. So ultimately what you can do is you can set it up and then you'll be able to run your offense and do your defense.
What I see so far is East Brunswick, when they possess in the Freehold zone, is almost trying to go against the grain and then counter back as they get the Freehold defense drifting the other direction.
Right. That was a nice feed. Feed went from Fusco to Demetrius Sagoff.
Glad you can pronounce that name. I'm sure I will too, Mrs. Sagoff, by the end of the day.
But the other thing you can see that's important too, look at the spacing that East Brunswick has right now. So what they're enabling their players to do is be able to beat their man, and ultimately what that leads to is someone sliding and hitting someone for a quick shot. Ball goes to Miller on the wing. Back up, it looks like that's Kolbach. Geiger setting the pick as Kolbach comes through. It's a nice save by the goalie there. As you can see, ground balls are extremely important. East Brunswick got the ball, and again, they're able to set it back up.
Freehold packing their defense in there.
Fusco's got the ball on the wing. It's a shot. Again, Dunbar's behind, which is a tremendous asset. Excellent look there. Went from Dunbar to Sagoff. Loose ball, Fusco picks it up. It's a bad pass. What you want to do is you want to keep your passes short. What happened is, the player number 15 on Freehold, cut it off, and ultimately it led to a turnover.
Oh, those cross field passes in the middle of the field are dangerous.
Just like a
inviting
basketball.
a quick breakaway.
Weinraub's on the person right there. Miller picks up the loose ball. Okay, what happened there is Miller had the ball. He was knocked out of bounds. Because he had the ball, it actually goes back to Freehold. What you're seeing there is when the ball actually goes out of bounds, you're unable to get substitutions in, by calling for a horn, and play actually stops. So it looks like they switched up the midfield right there.
Freehold's ball in bounds. Trying to find any kind of opening they can at this point.
Well, what ultimately will happen as the kids get better stick skills, they'll be able to move the ball quicker, and ultimately it'll create better shots for them. It's a nice pass to Dunbar.
Leaving the goalie naked out there.
As you can see in transition, those are some of the things that can happen. And ultimately what happened, the midfielder brought the ball up. As East Brunswick's, attackmen, were dropping down low. The Freehold defender slid up, picked him up. It was a nice pass from the midfielder over to Dunbar, who put the score in.
And by my count now, we got a Bears lead of 5-0.
It's a nice face-off win there by Chu. Loose ball was picked up from the number 31. You always got to know where the defender is. Fusco picks up the loose ball.
His teammates alerted him, but a little too late for his liking.
Nice pass.
Nice feed.
Feed went from Fusco to Sagoff, and Dunbar's got the ball.
Nice save by Erickson.
He's doing a nice job in goal. Looks like it was a loose ball push on the Bears. It'll be Freehold ball.
It looks like the toughest saves to make for a keeper in this game are the ones that are bounced off the ground.
Down low is the way to go.
Which makes it surprising, the one that went right in about shoulder level with a clear view of the ball, too.
Right.
It's got to be a frustrating year for the Freehold coach.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
Deep down, he knows what he's up against, but
absolutely.
If he sees some desire and some hustle out there, you can't ask for much more at this stage.
That was a nice shot by Chu. Again, it should be East Brunswick's ball.
You don't see a lot of stick checking by Freehold in their defensive end of the field.
Oh.
Yeah, that or it's just a good protection by East Brunswick.
Freehold's looking to clear the ball. they come up with it.
Got number 22
Saved
for
by
Freehold. Jimmy O'Brien parked right in front of the net.
Dave Lynch,
Nice
who made his
outlet by
first
Lynch.
save.
Racing upfield, number 17, Ken Weintraub. Break it, wide open shot. Oh, stick check, just the last instant. Coach having a little fun with him, it seems.
Well, it's nice when you can do that. Again, what happened there was the ball was loose, Freehold push East Brunswick from behind, so the whistle is blown and it automatically goes to East Brunswick.
Ernie, pipe behind for the Delaware.
Now the goalkeeper obviously having a bigger stick, or a bigger basket, if you will, than the field players. Does it make it easier for him to make a pass or a little more awkward?
Not so much for the pass, but certainly on the saves. Lynch has been a tremendous goalie for East Brunswick. He's been a starter for 4 years, and he certainly has anchored the program. He's done a tremendous job.
It looks like a pretty imposing force standing there on that net.
Move the ball. Work it around. Move the ball. Work it around.
Size in a lacrosse goal certainly does help.
Yeah. Flags down. Okay, they should actually blown the whistle there. What happened now looks like it was a slash on number 26, Dmitry Segal.
Does he come out for a penalty or is he
Yes.
replaced?
Penalty is 1 minute, so East Brunswick will be running man down. It'll be 5 defenders, which will be 3 defensemen and probably 2 midfielders. Against 6 Freehold players, which will be your 3 middies and your 3 attack.
A little bit of soccer, rugby, and ice hockey all rolled into one here.
Yeah. Again, because players stopped, you're able to get the substitutions in.
From the size of the bench the Bears have today, is this entire squad, JV and varsity up
Yes,
here?
that's how they do it, because you'll probably have the JV game immediately following this game. Shot was taken by Freehold.
Number 4 for Freehold, Andrew Smith. Wheeling around to Kyle O'Donnell. Playing shorthand, tries to get a shot. Bob looks like it left his stick a little, or Chris Konecki.
Yeah. Ultimately, what you do too is you see Chris, Konecki, shot the ball sidearm. Many times, shooting the ball sidearm, especially for inexperienced players, you don't have as much accuracy on your shot.
It looked like a baseball pitcher who pitches sidearm, having the ball released from his hand too soon.
Right. It's just like throwing a baseball. If you throw the ball baseball, your arm's going to go forward. As it's going forward, you pretty much have better sense of where the ball is going to actually, what direction it's going to be heading in.
Or along with the soccer, hockey, and
Right.
rugby, you can also throw a little highlight in there too.
Right. Ball's going out of bounds.
It looked like Freehold was closer to that, so they should get possession, correct?
Well, actually, on the pass, if the ball's out of bounds on a pass, it automatically goes to the other team. However, if that were a shot, you're correct. It would go to the player that's closest to the end line.
In case any of you viewers can't tell, I'm getting a hands-on lesson today. I'll be full of expertise next time I'm called into duty.
Nice. What East Brunswick's doing here, typically when you're man down, what you like to do is you play almost more of a zone as opposed to a man-to-man.
Lynch was the save as Novello fed out to
Right.
Kyle O'Donnell.
Okay, what happened there was, once the goalie makes a save like that, he has it in the crease. If he looks to pass the ball out and his stick is checked, ultimately what that is a free clear. So East Brunswick should be getting the ball on the midfield line.
Feeling David Lynch has a few bruises this year? Doesn't
Absolutely.
look like there's much padding back there.
Oh, basically all they're wearing is a chest protector and throat protector.
Little interference from behind.
Push from behind, loose ball push, so it automatically goes to Freehold.
Little guy Novella's got a lot of heart in there.
Yeah.
He's up against some tall trees.
It's a shot by number 1,
Dennis
Dennis
Novello.
Novello. Freehold has the ball behind East Brunswick's cage. Weinrab's on. Freehold player. It's passed up to number 8. That's good defense by East Brunswick. He beat this man to the spot, preventing him to going unattended to the goal.
Look like East Brunswick's playing a man-to-man defense, where Freehold's playing more of a zone down in their end of the field.
Well, ultimately,
Or Freehold seems to be packing it in more towards their net.
for a lot of programs, what you want to do is you want to keep the shots to the outside.
Well, that's
so
yeah.
by doing that, by keeping it in tight, what that does is it keeps the ball, to the outside.
Hot potato out there. Possession by Steve Newmans. He races up the right side. Nice pass by
That's going to be
Ricky
Freehold
Schaefer.
ball.
That's a good look. Everybody get a man. Everybody get a man.
Set of leather lungs is a requirement for coaching one of these teams, I gather.
Absolutely. It's the main way. It's the main way to communicate.
Nice head ball by
It's
Andrew
a nice
Poster.
dodge there. Looks like the first quarter's over.
East Brunswick up with a 5-0 lead. They scored 5 fairly quick goals before Freehold settled down out here. Coaches will have a few words with their kids. Kids will get a quick drink, and referees will discuss what a beautiful day it is out there.
That
Discuss
it
the
is.
finer points of holding a lacrosse stick.
These are ideal conditions.
I noticed watching one of the girls' games yesterday, and maybe it was because of the size of the field, but their sidelines were almost non-existent. It was almost at the whim of the official when he felt they were going to be in a dangerous position.
I'll be honest with you, I don't know much about the girls' game. I do know this, that in the girls' game there's not any checking, but there is absolutely a tremendous amount of running. And they do use the stick, and stick skills are extremely important.
I'm shocked that they don't wear helmets or face guards.
That eventually may happen, though.
I know some of the kids on that team, and they should. I think what Coach Wigner might be discussing with his team is, the fact that they know the quality of the team and a youthful team that they are playing right now. And, try not to be in such a hurry to accomplish things. This is a great time in a game situation to work on some of the plays that you spend hours working on in practice and positioning and, weaving and support and everything else.
That's an excellent point. What he's looking to do is he's telling them that he wants them to concentrate totally on the fundamentals. Make sure they pick up every ground ball, follow through on your passes, move the ball, and again, ultimately look for good, easy shots.
And from the Freehold point of view, I can imagine the discussion being, if you keep working hard, something good is going to happen to you. Maybe they can sink that first one into the net. Who knows?
It takes time.
Freehold definitely is lacking in the size out there against their counterparts. And facing off, we'll have number 15 for Freehold, Matt Rayton.
I believe John Chu is out there for East Brunswick.
I believe you're right. All I know is next year I'm going to drag you in here to do a soccer game with me, so we'll be on the other side of the fence here.
I would absolutely be in a lot of trouble.
Jimmy O'Brien ran one after that, goes out of bounds.
Right, and actually East Brunswick came up with the face-off win. However, it was checked out of their stick, and again, if it goes out of bounds, it was Freehold's ball.
How many years has the Bears program been in existence right now as a varsity sport?
Well,
is this their third or fourth year?
No, it's actually longer than that. I'm not exactly sure the number of years. I believe it's close to 7.
Now the girls just started within the past couple of years.
That's
2 or
correct.
3 years, right?
That's correct. Lacrosse is one of the faster growing sports actually in New Jersey as well as in the country. It traditionally was strong in the Northeast. However, you're seeing states like Michigan, Colorado, a number of states out west picking it up, both at the high school, youth, and also the college level as well.
That was interesting. I'm from the Boston area originally, and during my high school days, there were quite a few lacrosse teams up there. That was a big sport in the high schools, even back in the mid to late 70s.
Right. It's very big in the prep school area, too.
Little check from behind by Freehold. Interesting thing I see is there's no gamesmanship among the teams. You know, somebody fouls somebody else, they shrug it off and move on.
Well, there's not enough time. Ultimately, what happens there is the action moves so quickly, and it starts and stops extremely quickly as well.
Matt Miller riding Stephen Horsch back there.
Doing a real nice job. It's Weinrob through the ball upfield. Sauvigny picks it up.
Racing down, he's got a wide open guy on the left side, through the left. Nice shot, good save by Justin Rayton, who's in the goal now. Freehold changed keepers at the quarter break.
Very infrequently do you see defensemen actually get shots off. It should be East Brunswick ball.
Now with the defense, again, one other thing I noticed in the girls' game is it looked like they had 4 people from the team who were limited in how far they could move upfield.
That's correct. Actually, if you always have to have 3 people back along with the goalkeeper, or the actual goalkeeper can go above, but you need 4 people back.
Behind midfield or behind the...
On the defensive end.
Wheeling and dealing is number 20, Matt Miller.
It's a nice save by the goalie there. Matt made a nice dodge, went to the goal, got a shot down, which was great. Goalie made a nice
just what I
save.
mentioned before, he had a tough time maneuvering that big stick. Game like this, a lot of anxious Bear players on the sideline hoping for their chance in there.
It eventually comes.
Schaefer moving from left to right, trying to cut across the middle. And he scores.
As you mentioned, before, he just basically physically overmatched his man. Went to the goal, protected the stick nice with his body, got the shot off.
It looked like he dragged the defenders across towards the right and then shot it back against the grain as the keeper is kind of following along with the flow of the play.
Yeah, and what's got to happen there, too, he's got to get help from his defense, too. Someone sliding to help him out.
Brand
Ball's
trying to
going
keep
out
out
of
of
bounds.
bounds.
It's going to be blue ball.
There's that world-famous football crown on the field.
Ball's checked by East Brunswick.
Too much punching up in the middle.
As Dunbar gets the ball, he's looking to settle it.
Oh, nice pass.
Feed. Nice save by the goalie.
In that case, I don't think the goalie could get out of the way.
It's like loose ball push on East Brunswick. It'll be Freehold's ball.
It's a quick shot off the pass. Like I said, I don't think the keeper could get out of the way of that shot.
No, it's all reaction.
That's going to hurt.
It's like a Freehold player's down and hurt. That's why they actually
he got
blew
whacked
the
in
whistle.
the shin pretty good, Frank Hirsch. Frank Heslam.
Fusco's taking the ball behind.
I was going to take it back around to the front. Ooh, dangerous pass across there.
Nice shot
Nice
by
shot
Cho.
by Cho. It's a dangerous pass from Fusco across the middle.
Yeah, it was. Actually, it's quite long. In many instances, it could have been picked off and brought downfield.
That one should have been picked off, but they live for another day. Facing off number 15 for Freehold, Matt Rayton. Quick attack right now.
Dunbar passes to Fusco. Again, looking to make that pass to Sagoff.
Yari Kozlowski seeing his first action of the day.
I think what just happened there was, I believe Yari Kozlowski, he was moving, set a moving pick. That's why the possession went back to Freehold.
Chris Konecki slowly working his way up the right side as Justin Semico goes behind the net.
That was a good look. It will happen in a few years. That that connection will happen, and they'll get off a good shot right there. It'll be East Brunswick ball.
Dunbar, long clear.
Offsides on East Brunswick. That was a nice pass.
Eddie Ramos fighting for the loose ball. Nope.
Freehold did a nice job on that ground ball right there. One thing they did great was also they pulled it out and settled it down.
Watkins for Freehold. Nice centering pass. Couldn't connect with Jimmy O'Brien.
Again, the look was extremely good. However, they just weren't able to finish it there.
John Chu, Stan Brand, John Keller back in the match. East Brunswick just keeps rolling in fresh troops. No need to rush things now with a 7-0 lead.
No. I mean, the important thing is to be patient. It's nice defense right there by
Yeah, good check.
That was
And
a
a
score
goal.
by John Chu.
And he paid for that, was he?
As you can see, what happened there too, the pass went out to Chu, and the Freehold defender came out very aggressively. The one thing you need to do is you cannot get yourself off balance when you're playing defense, whether it be in lacrosse or even in basketball. Got himself off balance. John Chu made a nice dodge on him, left him free for the shot.
Chu's coming off a little pained. So I got whacked in the kidney area. Stick's getting up a little high on that loose ball.
That was close.
Chris Konecki coming down the left, cutting through the middle.
He's done a nice job, Konecki.
Bears playing a man-to-man, keeping Kyle O'Donnell way outside. Nobody open, they turned it over.
Schaefer picks up the loose ball.
Schaefer lumbering downfield. And misconnects on the pass with Fusco. There's some youngsters out here on this team. Ernie, Fusco, Kozlowski seeing some action.
Yeah, you have a nice mix. You have a good blend of seasoned seniors who have done a real nice job, been involved in the program for a number of years. You have a number of juniors as well. What they're doing is they've been showing the younger players a lot of leadership.
Nice anticipation by Ricky Schaefer.
Again, there was a pass. Schaefer was coming upfield. Again, what you got to do is when you have possession of the ball, you're able to get away with it against Freehold. But possession is so critical. Slow it down, set up your offense.
Oh, makes sense. The more time your team's possessing the ball, is less time the opponent's possessing it.
Right.
Misplayed there. If he hurries, he's got a wide open net if he can get a hold of the ball.
Nice play by Freehold clearing it out. Now again.
We've got an injury out there. Don't want to speculate, but the only one I don't see a number on it looks like Ernie Fusco. And he'll come out for a little while, get his faculties back. And Jordan Sorkin will replace Ernie. Mad scramble in front of the Freehold net as the keeper lost control of the ball and left it wide open.
Right. But they recovered nicely, and what they did is they actually took the man out. And
Everybody was anxious. Matt Colbeck. It's behind the net, wheeling it around, Matt Miller. Jordan Sorkin wheeling around.
Nice move right there.
Cutting back to the middle, wide open. Didn't look like he had much of a shot, an angle available to him, but he released it anyhow.
Right. Good hustle by Miller on that shot. East Brunswick retains possession of the ball. That's Geiger with the ball. Passes over to Colbeck, over to Sorkin. Looks like it's going to go behind to Dunbar. Back over to Miller.
I'll go back the other way. Try to keep possession and wait for somebody in Freehold to miss their assignment.
Yeah, Freehold settled down a little. Playing much better defense, staying with their man.
Nice stick check by Novello.
Very nice help.
A Little guy's getting his nose dirty out there today. He's not afraid to get into it.
That was a nice look as far as the clear is concerned. Picked up by Jason Geiger. That's Miller on the wing.
She
Outside,
scores.
no, it was actually outside
Oh,
the
it did go
goal.
outside. All right, well, I'll take that one back. One bad call for Phil.
We all make them.
That's right. Shimmers over to Weinberger. Saunters into the Bear zone. Nobody behind the net. Now they got two people back there for Freehold.
Right. One of the other things you want to do too is you want to have good spacing on offense. You want to have a lot of movement too. Of course, it's just like anything. It's easy. It's harder to defend someone if they're moving, and that's where you see a lot of shots come up off of picks. Someone catches and finishes the ball.
If this was a tighter match right now, wouldn't Colbeck be a little more poking at the Freehold opponent with the stick?
Yeah. However, though,
try to jar the ball loose.
That's a good point. If they certainly had to. But the other thing too is if a player has the ball outside of what we call that box area, let him stay there. I mean, he's not going to score there. The likelihood of him scoring there is extremely unlikely, especially with Lynch in goal. Again, what you want to do is you want to keep the shots to the outside.
Like I said, it looks like an abnormally small net with Lynch standing in there. It's got its own zip code.
He's a tremendous goalie. That's Zach Bloom coming up with the ball, shoots and scores.
Not much defense on that one as the goalie was left hung out to dry. It's like Bloom had the option that time. If he didn't have a clear shot, he could have slid it right over to Brett Dunbar.
One thing that's good with East Brunswick right now, it looks like a bunch of people have scored, which is nice. What that's telling you, there's been good ball movement, and which has eventually led to good and easy shots. It's a nice face-off by Freehold. Lynch out in goal. Tries to get it over to Bloom, but it goes out of bounds.
Ideally, Lynch would have liked to reach him in the air with that one.
Yeah, he 9 times out of 10 makes those connections as well.
So we're getting near the end of the half as the timekeeper is standing along the touchline.
Nice save.
Nice save as Rich Erickson held his ground there.
Nice save by that goalie.
So we got Justin Rayton in the goal. Now that's a referee you can hear.
Communicated well.
He sure did. Especially to those standing right in front of him. Good anticipation by Freehold that time. Nice long out clearing pass.
Very nice pass.
Great play. See if they can capitalize on this. Nope. Ball pops out of the stick.
It's like
Matt
Newman
Rayton
picks the ball up. Oh, I believe the horn had sounded, so that's the half.
Good call on the referees.
Well, it's halftime now.
That'll bring us close to the first half. Good action on the part of the Bears right now. Freehold getting a learning experience they were hoping not to get. And we'll take a pause with the East Brunswick Bears ahead of Freehold 8-0. Just about ready for the start of the second half of today's boys lacrosse match here at J. Doyle Field between the Freehold Township Patriots and your East Brunswick Bears. Bears jumping out to a 9-0 halftime lead over a first-year Freehold program.
Freehold's, made some nice adjustments, so they seem to slow the ball down, played better defense in the second quarter. In addition to that, East Brunswick has done a very nice job moving the ball, spreading it around to a number of different players.
Oh, you're right. Those first 5 goals came in bunches, and then things finally settled down where I think Freehold's initial jitters kind of
Freehold
left
just got
them.
a nice face-off win right there, too. Colback picks up that loose ball.
Possessing on the outside. Brett Dunbar behind the goal to Ernie Fusco.
Again, East Brunswick's looking to move the ball around. Geiger setting a pick for Colback, gets it over to Dunbar, back to Fusco.
Getting poked at a little bit by Frank Haslam. Just to keep him honest.
Dunbar gets it behind to Fusco.
Wheels out front. Quick shot. Just stopped.
Nice pass. Nice shot by Sagoff, too.
Good recovery on defense by Dave Chwatko. Did I pronounce that correctly? Chwatko? Looks good, right?
That sounds good to me. Okay, we got a penalty on East Brunswick, a hold on Jason Geiger. East Brunswick will be man down for 30 seconds. Again, what East Brunswick's going to look to do is force Freehold to keep the ball to the outside, make sure all the shots come outside.
Well, when they were even strength, the Bears were more aggressive on the defense out by the perimeter. Now it looks like they've tucked back a little bit, being a man down.
Again, it would become more man-to-man.
Now they'll basically
Weinrob's bringing the ball up on his own.
Man, nice back check. Terrific back check by Kyle O'Donnell.
But again, there's a situation where you're man down, you have a long stick person bringing the ball up. What you want to do is you want to get it to someone on the wing, let that penalty expire, and then set up your offense.
Game of keep away.
Absolutely. Did an excellent job, clearing it. Nice pick up there.
Bears on the break, wheeling around. Quick shot, nice save.
Yeah, shot was a little high, made a nice move, but again, those shots that are down low certainly make it a lot more difficult for the goalie to make those saves.
Boy, Newman had a quick first stop down the wing.
There's a flag down. Looks like it's going to probably be a slash on number 39 for East Brunswick.
Now, define slash
Steve
in this
Newman.
case. Is this because he brought the stick up from over his head down, or?
No, what it does is it's basically when you take the stick and you're swinging it at someone. Now, you can actually swing your stick if you hit their stick or their hands. Typically, the referee will not call a slash on that because you made contact with that.
So was it the interpretation of the referee that he was going for the body more than the stick, or?
Well, it's not even that. Even if he isn't going for he's most likely going for the stick. However, if he hits the person's leg or another part of his body other than his stick, that's where they'll call the slash. And that penalty is a minute.
Newman waiting to get back in the game. Nice breakout by number 17, Ken Weintraub. Got a 4-on-3 advantage through here. Bringing it in himself. Good block by number 24, Matt Shimmers.
Again, though, that's a situation where, you know, against an inexperienced team like Freehold, you can get away with that, but the better play at that time, especially when you're man down, is to, you know, get the ball outside, let the penalty expire, and then run your offense. Nice roll there by Miller. Nice shot.
Score.
That was a nice play by Miller right there. Made a nice roll dodge. You know, went to the goal, got a shot down, and scored.
Like a pick and roll in basketball. One day we'll be using analogies in other sports for lacrosse. You can sense so far, I mean, for the majority, a good number of programs in the state, they are in fairly youthful stage, young stages right now, and you can almost see a lot of the private schools who have had lacrosse for years are way at the top of the heap, and then you've got some of your mid-level, like a lot of the GMC teams.
Starts very young. We start kids in the Blackhawks program from 2nd grade on.
Little sandwich there, 22 for Freehold now, picking up the loose ball. Looked like he attacked and then backed off. Quick shot.
Nice shot. That was a very nice shot.
Freehold guy trying to state his case for them keeping the ball in play, but
good hustle by the goalie, Lynch, right there. East Brunswick's getting a little undisciplined right here.
that seems to be a long run for a keeper. When, as you stated earlier in the game, point A to point B is a pass. In order to, all he's doing by running upfield is dragging the defense back with him.
Right.
Freehold's down a man for 30 seconds, they said.
Yes. Fusco's bringing the ball up.
So is that considered like a non-contact foul? That he only got 30 seconds instead of a minute?
Yeah, usually a penalty running a minute is going to be more of your slash. Nice save by the goalie right there.
Ernie, run the play now. Please. Ernie, on your touch.
Jason Geiger trying to get control there. Out to Fusco, the point man.
Over to Dunbar. Nice check.
The off-the-ball movement sees the Bears cutting across the middle of the goal, weaving back and
Ball
forth.
gets back to Dunbar.
Almost trying to create a screen out there for a shot from the outside.
Over to Fusco. Back over to Geiger.
Takes one across the legs. Quick shot.
Nice save.
Matt Miller. Bears still in possession as Freehold gets their man back. Fusco trying to weave through the middle. Fusco with a shot. Nice save.
It's not a good shot though. Ball's up high. You know,
Yeah.
shot was a lot easier for the goalie right there.
There were no distractions, and he had a clean
Nope.
look at a shot that came right at chest
Absolutely.
level. I guess any save where a goalie can catch it right in his stick
Miller's doing a tremendous job on this general right here. Actually, they did call a penalty right there, but he's not giving him any room to do anything. East Brunswick will be man down for a minute.
So while they're off, they can't go get a drink, which is what Matt Miller was aiming for at that point.
Right. That was a shot by Freehold.
They'll sneak
pick
in the
up the
water
loose
bottle
ball.
anyhow. Wheeling around is Justin Simico.
Nice defense by East Brunswick. What they're looking to do again is they're making Freehold take their shots from the outside.
Just kept in by Freehold. I think number 10, Adam Miller, was surprised he had the ball in his stick. It's a nice cut across the middle, but I don't even think he was expecting to hold on to that one. Nice shot, nice save by Lynch.
He's extremely quick down low. He's done a tremendous job there. Weinrob's bringing the ball down.
Looking for Fusco. It's wide open. Oh, just mishandles it. And he scores.
Good look over.
Good play by Fusco to get control of the ball.
Dropped it initially, was looking for the shot, got control of it and looked across.
Crossed over to Brian Dunbar.
For the shot.
Brett Dunbar, excuse me. And it is now about midway through the third quarter. Bears 11, Freehold 0.
Kenny Weinrob, number 17 on East Brunswick, has done a real nice job, clearing the ball for them. Bringing the ball upfield, and in that play, he made a nice pass over to Fusco, who eventually hit Dunbar for the quick goal.
Freshman Yari Kozlowski on the draw.
East Brunswick picks up that loose ball. Ball goes behind to Dunbar. Nice pass right there. Nice save.
Like it hit right off the post.
Actually, the goalie was in excellent position right there.
I'm sure a lot of new programs at the school for lacrosse. It's trying to get enough quality officials to be able to run the games as well.
It's a big problem at both the youth and the high school levels.
It's the same scenario with the youth soccer. You've got so many more kids playing and not enough quality officials.
That's right. And the high school officials are the same ones that do the youth games as well. Nice pass.
Nice shot. Yari Kozlowski, the freshman. Good positioning out front, a quick release.
It was a nice pass from Fusco to Kozlowski.
That looms well for the Bears' future. Only a freshman. Seems to be a crowd favorite out there.
See, this is, again, the thing that's extremely critical. East Brunswick scores the goal, not only scores the goal, but they win the face-off. So if you have someone that really can control face-offs, it's a big, big benefit. Eddie Ramos just had that ball. Fusco passes it behind to Dunbar.
You can sense Freehold getting a little discouraged at this point, as they've just packed it into their own end.
Right.
Fusco trying to hit the top far corner.
That's a pass from Dunbar. Gets a loose ball. Kozlowski over to Ramos, over to Fusco.
Yeah,
Back
looking
to
at the
Dunbar. Dunbar back to Fusco. Over to Kozlowski, over to Ramos. Stay low on those ground balls. Fusco's looking to get that ball to Sagoff.
kind of a blind pass out there.
It's extremely dangerous. The one thing you don't want to do, too, is that when you are throwing the ball, keep it to the outside or run to the outside.
Freehold's best chance in quite a while.
Good hustle by Freehold, making sure they have possession after that shot.
Approaching the end of the quarter, as the timekeeper is following the official down the sideline.
Nice save by Lynch. That ball's out of bounds. It's going to be East Brunswick ball. He has excellent reflexes back in goal.
Plays a ball out deep.
Nice clear.
Ball's got the same effect as those little super balls he used to.
It's hard rubber.
Yeah, it sure is. They can find it. Good play by Kozlowski.
Showing a lot of hustle out there. Nice look.
A little bulldog out there.
Over to Ramos. Waited too long to take that shot.
Yeah. Looked like he was trying to just get the right feel of it in his stick before uncorking one. Quick shot off the restart.
Ball's out of bounds. It'll be East Brunswick ball.
You know, and even with the lopsided score, you see the Freehold coach on the sideline, giving the little kids a pat in the helmet and just trying to keep a general positive attitude out there.
Have to. The key really here is to keep kids involved.
Well,
Don't let them get discouraged.
Otherwise,
more and more kids that keep the sticks in their hands. That's the only way you're going to get better.
That'll bring us to the end of the third quarter with the Bears up 12-0 against the Freehold Patriots here at J. Doyle Field in East Brunswick. Again, same thing as at the quarter break before. Bears coach Wigner would like to see some patience, working the ball around. And again, similarities to other sports. You're probably more important moving without the ball in your possession than you are with the ball.
Absolutely. You know, what happens here is he is stressing that. He's trying to show a lot of patience, a lot of ball movement. And as you can see, really, when you look at most of their goals have been down low, and it's happened as a result of a couple different reasons. Either kids are cutting without the ball, the pass is getting there and they're finishing, or in addition to that, you have a man beating his the defender up front, going to the goal and getting the shot down and scoring.
I think what make Freehold's day is if they would sink one past Lynch right now.
Yeah, it would.
Doesn't look like it's going to happen at this point.
Well, you never know. You never know. I mean, it would. It would, give them a lot of confidence. The key really is that the township supports them, the school supports them, and in addition to that, hopefully, they develop their youth program so that they're going to get experienced players before they actually get to the high school level.
Well, how many kids do you have now involved in the 7th and 8th grade levels?
What we do is with the Blackhawks, we have kids playing from the 2nd grade through the 8th grade, and we have over 90 kids in our program. Right now, currently on the 8th grade team, we have about 25 kids, and we have 25 7th graders as well.
Now, are there school teams for them to compete against? Or?
No, what we do is we play other
Just at a club
recreation
level?
programs such as Hillsborough, Hopewell Valley, Princeton.
So it's still at a club level at the 7th and 8th grade?
Well, it's actually at a rec level.
Right.
That's correct. Again, there's a situation where Coach Wigner probably isn't extremely happy, but what you want to do is you want to keep the passes short. What it does is it leads to fewer mistakes. What they're looking to do is push him out of bounds. Nice play by Dunbar right there. Now Schaefer's going to step in. He's going to look to start something right away. Gets it behind to Dunbar. back up to Schaefer. Over to Bloom. East Brunswick's being patient out there, looking to just move the ball.
Almost on cue. You hear Coach Wigner exalting them on. Actually, in no hurry right now. I did notice earlier in the match, quick centering pass goes astray. Freehold forwards
made a nice play right there.
Freehold forwards waiting for the ball to get across that demilitarized zone there. I noticed earlier in the game, Coach Wigner was calling out, sounded like names of different colleges as if there was some set plays involved with.
Yeah, that's what they call the plays. It could be 1, 2, 3. It could be Hopkins. It could be Rutgers. It could be Loyola. It could be anything. But again, the key is, moving the ball and trying to get as easy a shot as possible. That's how you get most of your goals.
And keeping the people up there that are out there on the same page.
Right.
Nice. Nice reception of a high pass by Dunbar. Bears working the ball around the perimeter.
Yep.
Freehold seemingly in no hurry to get possession.
Yeah, Dunbar threw that pass.
It's going to stay in, too.
Yeah, actually
He flew it out south. Should be white ball.
Right. The other thing what you ultimately want to do, too, is try to get the passes to the person's stick side, because if it's on the inside, what happens is you don't have the protection. If it comes to the outside, what you do is you have it protected, the ball protected by the body.
That went in. It should be a goal.
By Dunbar.
So I gotta say, it's not a bad sized crowd.
Yeah.
I wonder if all these people know this is supposed to be at work by now.
It's Friday.
I won't tell. Actually, I should probably be at work too, huh?
Sure.
This is much more fun.
Especially on a beautiful afternoon. Ah. Pass by Dunbar off Fusco's stick.
For those of you that might have just joined us, from the fourth quarter of today's boys lacrosse match between Freehold and the host East Brunswick Bears. Phil Peterson here along with Ernie Fusco, bringing you the play-by-play, and I guess you could call it Lacrosse 101 for those of you who might be viewing for the first time.
Nice ground ball there by Freehold.
Wondering what this sport is being played on the football field here. Freehold getting the Bears attack zone. The Bears defensive zone, I should say, for first time this quarter. Quick pass across the middle. Very impatient team at that point.
Yeah, that's all an experience really right there.
Well, there was no sign that they were going to try to work the ball around the perimeter, maybe take a lesson from the Bears attack.
That's a pass that's staying in. Freehold retains possession of the ball.
Good anticipation by Stan Brand. So just Dan Grippenberg off the ball. Jason Weinberger looking for some support behind the net.
Nice check there by number 19. Okay, as a loose ball hold on White on the Bears, it'll go blue ball, which will be Freehold. Nice check there by Katarzi.
Now the substitutions can only be made during a stoppage in the play, correct?
No, that's not accurate. What you can do is it's similar to hockey. You can substitute on the fly, they call it, but what has to happen is the one person on the field must come off before the other one can come on. Most of the time what happens too is where most of your substitutions occur are at the midfield line, and where the players are actually playing both ends of the field, both the offense and the defensive end.
Unlike ice hockey where you get some player jumping on quickly.
No, that can't happen here. But then again, there's a lot more room here than there is in the rink. Nice pass there.
Boy, his
Shot
eyes
by
got wide
9.
as saucers with that wide open
Right.
look there, but closed up quickly.
Freehold's doing a nice job out here, just holding on to the ball, retaining possession of it, doing a nice job moving it around. Ball's down. East Brunswick comes up with that loose ball. Brand did a nice job picking up that ground ball.
Lovella with a wild swipe. Oh.
Nice look. It's going to be goalie ball. Goalie got to the end line when the ball went out quicker than East Brunswick did.
Like Sygoff had the ball in front, but he didn't take a peek to see where the net was when he released it.
Good check by Dunbar right there.
I think going through his mind was, I can't believe I'm this wide open.
Again, there's a situation where the ball was out of bounds, and they were able to get a substitution in off the whistle.
Eddie Ramos working the ball down low to Brett Dunbar. Brings it behind the net. Fusco, who's seemingly the quarterback out there.
Nice play by Freehold.
Regained by the Bears. Across to Dunbar.
Back out to Ramos. Nice move by Ramos.
Stick check on the part of Novello.
I honestly missed that call.
Yeah. I thought they were going to get the little guy for slashing.
It could have been that he stepped out of the box. I don't know how much time's left in the game, but with a certain amount of time in the game, if you're in that box area, you cannot come out.
Until what point?
Well, if you come out with possession of the ball, it goes back to the other team.
So once you're in that box, you can either take a shot or release a pass and then come back outside without any penalty.
Ramos did a nice job with that ground ball. Good roll right there.
It's like Philip Camage in the match. First time we've called his name today.
That looked close. It's going to be a push on East Brunswick.
Yeah, I would say number 7, Eddie Ramos, pile drived everybody.
Again, this is where you got to be patient. Kick the ball out to an open area, run through it, and gain possession of the ball. That's going to be out of bounds on Freehold. It'll be East Brunswick ball.
I'd imagine when you get 2 fairly skilled teams out here, the ball's worked around so quickly and possession's maintained and kept in bounds that the games move a lot faster even.
Yeah, they do. That was a nice play by Freehold. Check the East Brunswick player. Timeout for East Brunswick. I think what East Brunswick's going to try to do is, you know, get everybody set up in the positions they want to.
I guess obviously with a 13-0 lead, Coach Wigner may be trying to get some kids in the game that haven't been in there yet.
Yeah, it's nice because, you know, we've seen a lot of kids get in and out, you know, over the course of the game, but this will be even a greater opportunity for him to get some of his other players more experience as well.
A lot of freshmen and sophomores itching to get dirty and have a reason to take a shower tonight. I mean, geez, we're on TV. Got to hear your name called. Quick little prayer vigil. The Bears for patience, Freehold for survival.
Yeah. Freehold will be fine. It's just going to take time. Again, I keep reiterating the same thing. It doesn't happen immediately. Ultimately, what happens is, you know, as kids keep their stick in their hands, you know, from an earlier age. You know, what happens is their stick skills develop. And what that leads to a program where you can move the ball extremely well, understand the game well, and that leads to success.
Not going to go out.
Looks like that is Andy Miller picked up the ball. It's going to the goal.
He wants that goal.
Made a nice move. Made a really nice move going to the cage.
Could you tell?
It's a good time for these players right now. You're getting some good experience.
I think you got a lot of new faces out there now. Number 66, Neil Zabib.
Yes. Number 27 is taking the ball right there.
Number
Takes
20,
the shot.
number 25, Cameron Arshall. Angelo Mancuso, a freshman. Mancuso.
That was Angelo Mancuso who just took that shot.
And we had one go in. Looked like Andrew LaDuca.
I don't know who it went
I think it's I'll tell you, I think it went right off of Andrew LaDuca.
The pass went from Andy Miller behind.
LaDuca was parked right out in front. I don't know where the ball bounced off his hindquarters or his back or whatever, but all of a sudden he wheeled around. The ball was in the net. We'll give it to him.
They'll take it.
Yeah.
Let's see who's facing off right here. 38.
38, Brian Tubman.
Ooh. Actually, we have a new goalkeeper in there
Yes,
as well.
we do. Number 28, Ben Nevid. Nevid?
Yes. Clock's on the field. Nice pass there.
And they scored one. Number
pass
4
went
for
from,
Freehold as time is winding down. Andrew Smith.
came from number 7, Andrew
Savitz.
Savitz to Smith.
Well, in the total scheme of things, if the last game just ended, Freehold's up 1-0, so.
It gives them something to build on, which is what it's all about. Nice face-off win there by Tubman. Gets it over to Miller. We have a penalty. I did not see what it was. Looks like it's going to be a penalty on number 10 from Freehold.
That'd be Adam Miller.
Look like he's going to get 1 minute for elbowing. So he has the ball up top, number 4 for East Brunswick.
I would imagine there's not even a minute left on the match at this point.
Right. Miller tried to make a nice feed from behind. Nice hit by the Freehold player. Tubman comes up with the ground ball. Good look to Sorkin. Nice
Sorkin.
deflection there by Freehold.
Trying to get it back out front.
Looks like Sorkin passes the ball to Miller. Again, what happened there is with 2 minutes left in the I believe the end of the game, they have to keep the ball inside the box area once it's there. If not, they lose possession of the ball.
Oh, off the
Ooh.
post.
Nice shot. Now this is a nice story. Eddie Todd, who's been out ill for well over a month, senior, is out there for the first time this year.
And he acknowledges his fan club.
Tremendous kid.
He probably had to buy a lot of tickets for this game for family and friends, huh?
He's a tremendous athlete. It was just an unfortunate, incident that happened with him. He'll come back strong for it.
Well, he's jumping right into the thick of it right off the bat here. And he comes up with a ball. It's a dangerous job as a timekeeper being so far out in the field. Freehold with a wild low shot.
And Todd has the ball. Todd ends the game with the ball.
And that'll be the game. East Brunswick Bears coming out on top of their visitors from Freehold. Final score, East Brunswick 14, Freehold 1.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for allowing me the opportunity to come and talk, about this game. In addition to that, I want to wish Freehold a lot of luck and continued success to East Brunswick.
Believe me,
thank you.
You don't know how much I want to thank you for being here. It's my initial baptism in the game of lacrosse, and I got to tell you, I learned quite a bit today, and I appreciate it, Ernie.
Thank you very much.
From J. Doyle Field, it's Phil Peterson with Ernie Fusco. Wishing you a good afternoon.
Thank you.